morning. Good morning. We are on. So we started a new time. Um, we started a new time. You see, I'm in a different angle, guys, because I have wrote on my board, and I can't let y'all see that yet. And so we're gonna be at this angle for a minute. New time. I wanted to see what the market was doing. I'm a little, because the market opens at 9:30. So since the market opens at 9:30, I was like, let me try a 10:45, a 10:30, 10:45-ish time, because I get to see where the market's going, and that lets me put plays in early. Disclaimer, not financial advisor. Disclaimer, not a financial advisor. So let's do our disclaimer, our real disclaimer. And I got this in the middle of my screen. We'll figure out a good angle soon. I'm gonna put my glasses on. So I wanted to make sure I had a good spot and that y'all can see me pretty good. What the volume on this computer is, first and foremost, you guys. Cool. So as I start, I hope y'all day is going good. Hope y'all day is going good. I had a let me tell you, I had a lot of energy for some reason. I had like a burst of energy for no reason. It was bubbling too. Got wipe the lens, guys. Okay, you know, for my people out there with glasses, y'all know I had to take it through the car wash a little bit, right? It's a struggle out here for people that wear glasses, man. People think they cool now, but it's really a struggle. Cause now, see, it's a struggle. It is. Just to wipe my glasses. Now I take the headphones all the way back off. Now I still got something on. Like that. I'll tell you. All right, let's do this. Disclaimer: the videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose an institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of Creator, Henry is only speaking from his experience. Let's rock out. First and foremost, since it's a holiday tomorrow, guys, they've been really scheming, plotting, and not uploading no information. People treating Thursday as if it's Friday. I'm pretty sure if you call a business today, they ain't gonna pick up the phone. People not even working today. The only people working is Trump administration on getting this bill passed. While everybody gonna have a good time, let me plug my computer up. There's gonna be a lot of freestyle because I'm thinking about live streaming tomorrow as well. But everybody working, like I said, Trump administration working. Everybody gonna be disappointed when the Trump administration signs the bill. Had the bill signed today or tomorrow. Probably gonna sign it on 4th of July, like early in the morning or something. Which is why we're gonna talk about Mike Johnson. A little unusual, this live stream. This gonna be a interesting one, I feel like, for the right reasons. And let me see, move you guys a little down as I'm still figuring this out. And remember, guys, you probably can't see my eyes. You see them a little bit right there, right? But you can't see my eyes because I'm looking at the screen and it's showing a reflection. So, just in, this is somebody who posted on X, but they used CNN's content work. They said Speaker Johnson says he's been talking to President Trump much of the morning. What's good, G? And he says when asked if Trump will have the big beautiful bill on his desk by July 4th, Mike Johnson said he's going to have it a day early. Why am I mentioning Mike Johnson? For one, he's the House of Speaker, and two, I'm mentioning Mike Johnson because him and Trump talk a lot, and he said they would have the bill a day early. The one big beautiful bill. Let me mention that. And so the one big beautiful bill, as we've been talking about, it's pretty much it passed the Senate. It's in the House. They're debating as we speak. They are literally debating about it. Let me join the control room. And honestly, if you ask me, I really don't think it seems to be any pushback going on. So it seems like the one big beautiful bill. He said a day early, but I think the one big beautiful bill will be passed by the end of today or early tomorrow. But it's definitely gonna get signed tomorrow probably. Because, you know, if we don't know Trump by now, Trump like to do everything in fashion. He like to do everything in style. And why not? Because he said the deadline was July 4th. Why not sign it on Independence Day? He already did Liberation Day for all my people out there. And then now he's going to have the one big beautiful bill day. I can already see it, marketing, content-wise, media outlets going crazy. That's kind of why I want to live stream tomorrow. LL, there has been a lot of pushback. Gee, I don't think it's been a lot of pushback. Because it got past the Senate. Of course, we talked about how they took some stuff out, but now it's at the House, and then the House gonna pass it because I'm following it on the Congress.gov. You know, we just talking, G. Man, they are going to, or what they said, hold on Congress.gov, they said it passed the Senate, but we all know go back to the House. Once they get on Trump this, it's over with. It is over with, and I think we all know that. Let's see what G said. Oh, there's been a lot of pushback. I think I said yesterday the Senate and the House had a debt difference of $900 billion. Yeah, I know, dude. And yeah, see, G knows, like, I think you did say something like that, G. I don't know why my comments don't show. I'm still figuring that out on YouTube from, like, the videos and the live screen. I be trying to play back and see, like, do the videos, are they going to show? Not the video, but the comments, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, Mike Johnson he said a day early. Now, it's real quiet. You know me, I'm in the higher education where it's real quiet. It's real, like, real timid. Like, a lot of professionals you can see on the phone. Oh, you talking about you can see the mic, the one playing it on? You can see it through my glasses? Oh, comment replays. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good then. At least you can see it. I'm glad it does replay, because when I was trying to run a test run on it, it wasn't on my end, because I guess I'm the owner of the channel. It doesn't show me. But I definitely know I clicked it in my settings when I was working in it. And so the one big beautiful bill, man, getting passed. And it wasn't really much to it to talk about, but it's really like they're debating about it. I kind of want to open it up. That's why I wish I had like another screen to show you all, because I would play a little bit of it to see what they're talking about. They're probably just arguing. Like, all they're doing a lot of times is, y'all can see my reflection. I'm mad. Y'all can see my reflection in these glasses. I'm upset. So I gotta sit at an angle where y'all can't see my screen, but y'all can see how big. So, you know, we're gonna do this right here. So I figure out a better angle, because I wrote on the board. Y'all can't see that. So I have to deal with this right quick. They're probably just arguing, going back and forth. And you said, yeah, I can see the computer. Yes, I know. That's why I took the glasses off. A $900 billion difference, though, that is a bit different. I still think they're going to push it through. I don't really think it's going to be much change. Nah, I ain't going for it. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. And then Linda said something, too, about it yesterday, because we did breaking news. Linda said on July 1st, we had did the breaking news for a little bit. It was only a short little video, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, I think. We did the little breaking news. When they did it, it's funny because I don't know how it got past me. I was literally on the computer the whole time. And so, but Linda said thank you to a at leader John Thune, if I said it right, and Republican senators for passing President Trump one big beautiful bill with excitement. By establishing loan limits, the bill closes the open. Okay, what is this word? I know one of y'all. I know somebody know in this chat. Probably G. Is this a real word? I should have Googled it and found out, but I didn't Google it. I just skipped over it. I didn't know if it was a typo. Cause Linda apparently she didn't know what AI was. They said she called it something else. Is this a real word? Now, I can Google it myself, but I rather ask the chat before I Google it. Is this a real word? I'm Googling it right now, guys. So let's see who will be faster. Okay, what I'm getting, yeah, it is L. Let's see. How you say that? Spigot. Okay, yeah, oh, that's definitely. I see G. Use a little faster. So I'm getting the definition of a small peg or plug, especially for insertion into event or what? Yeah, the chat is always delayed a little bit. G. Yours gonna come in like probably like 30 seconds later. Over. Older. Old. Why she used it in the context of it was a weird context she used it. The bill closes the open spigot of federal subsidies that drive up college costs. Okay, so that's what I did want to, because I saved it on X. I bookmarked it. Hey man, X need to do better with pushing education. Somebody need to reach out to Elon Musk, and somebody need to tell him they need to pay more attention to higher education, because higher education is really a fun topic to talk about and it's really funny, but people make it serious because I don't know why. But she said that federal subsidies drive up college costs and burden families. For all my people out there, so, for all my people out there, you have to help me with this. So I never took out federal subsidies. You got the subsidized loan, um, and you got what's the other one? Subsidized and non-subsidized. I think I said that right. Yeah, I know I spoke on it last live stream about how I believe it's non-subsidized. Forgive me if it's not, but subsidized and non-subsidized. Non-subsidized is where when you take out a loan, the interest rate moves. And the interest rate moves. The way I think about it, if you get a house and you don't lock in, you don't get a fixed rate. That's pretty much the same thing with these. But they want to put a cap on it, and we did say like they said graduates or no for your whole college, as I like to say, your whole collegiate career. They said you can get about, is that like too bright, y'all? Look, it's coming off a little bright. So I'm gonna slide y'all. Ooh, no, y'all just gotta deal with it with me, huh? I think it's bright. What if I move over? Yeah, block it. It's still a little bright. We need some curves right there. That's okay. I wanted to try something different. This is what happens when you try stuff different. That was Murray. We'll see if that works. Ah, that's better. Thank you. Thank you. Creepy, but thank you a little bit. So they send subsidies that drive up college costs and burden families. Well, first, this can go a lot of ways. A lot of Americans don't have financial literacy. So when they're pulling out money, they just pull it out to go to college. Then it goes into another topic that the college I go to will get me a great job. Then it goes from my college will get me a great job to my college didn't give me a good job, a great job, and they lied to me and scammed me. So putting the $275,000 limit, it was something like that in that range. Cause I remember asking G, I was like, G, is that a good range? G was like, that's pretty good, to go to school for your whole collegiate career. But they still can do the wrong steps, like still fall in that place. But they plan on in the higher education perspective, they plan on capping it, so you can't get that much money. I know we always think about low income students like immediately, like and subscribe, because I said it yesterday. G had said something that might trigger G a little bit. G had said like because low income people are always at a disadvantage, and I was like, yeah, they are, especially being there, they are. And so it just makes you think like if they get a cap on how much they can pull out, because if you low income, it starts with you, right? Like it really do real deal starts with you. And so it is an ongoing conversation to think about. And then she said they're moving swiftly. Linda said they're moving swiftly so we can make this a big beautiful law. And when it becomes law, I'm wondering, well, I'm assuming it starts right away when it becomes law. And then higher education, they have to move real swiftly. All public colleges, private, which leads us into our next topic about should colleges leave Uncle Sam. And so higher education, they had to make some really fast decisions, big decisions. I think that's why they're on a hiring freeze as well. It should have just been a universal hiring freeze in higher education, because most of them are in a hiring freeze. And so, because once that bill hit, a lot of people I think more people are going to get laid off once the bill hit, like officially hits. You keep, you can't. Still bright, but it's okay. It's still bright. And so we're gonna go to the next one because Mike Johnson, that was just interesting. He said that, and so I'm following it on Congress.gov because Congress.gov, like I said, tracks the bill. And then right now on Congress.gov, the bill is passed the Senate, which was yesterday. It took a minute for it to update, but because they actually have a meeting. No, okay, no, that's another meeting. They had this meeting on July 1st, and then but they're meeting today, but that's not on there on the Congress.gov. That's gonna be the hot topic when I go back to class. They should just pass me automatically for class. They should be like, we need higher ed professionals, so y'all automatically pass. And I wonder what they're gonna teach or do. Well, a lot of schools really don't care until they get hit. So the next one I had was should colleges leave Uncle Sam? That is more interesting right now until we get some news, because there's always gonna be some news coming up. Where is it? It should be up here. So, per Chronicles Higher Education, I forgot their name that quick. If Georgia State don't stop sending me this e-bill, like they not gonna get their money, they are going to get their money. Man, if I could get them to register me for classes like that, it would be amazing. Don't work like that though. The Chronicle Higher Education. Why I forgot your name? So no, they call it no federal strings attached per them. This is pretty interesting. So they pretty much made the case about should colleges leave Uncle Sam? Should colleges not take federal money? Now this could be a whole big ordeal debate. This could go on for days. Like there's so many things wrong with that, right? One of them was like they said a handful of private institutions draw no research grants from the government and do not allow their students to pay tuition with Pell or federal student loans, which means a lot of students at private schools, at private institutions, use their own money, like their parents use their money to pay for school. They don't use the Pell Grants. They can't use the federal student loans. They can't use nothing federal. And it actually helped a lot of private institutions have leverage in these times of situation. And so they're like, it's just to get a conversation started. Like, more higher ed, should more colleges, state public colleges, like, not take money from the federal government? Because it's really all it is. Like, hey, y'all can keep y'all money. We don't need y'all help. But a lot of schools, as we know, don't have as we would say, the alumni funding to do that. Because they even said in this, I would say, it's like a briefing, but I would say they even said, like, nobody can match pretty much the government's money. Like, nobody can match it because, the government just prints money. We all know that, right? And so what I think it's interesting. But if a public, I don't know, that's a tricky one. For one, I know that just won't work because I understand how America works and humans work in this country. That just wouldn't work at all. Like, not taking money from the government, like higher ed institutions. We already said higher ed institutions already spend money recklessly on things they don't need. So, which is why they're in the situation they are in. Because if they actually did what they were supposed to do with the money, they wouldn't be in this situation. It wouldn't even be a problem about what Trump is doing. And so I don't know why they just don't cooperate with him and just act like they're doing it. And then when they send people there, because that's all they're doing, like the way it goes in higher education, I'm gonna be honest, as much as my time working in higher education, at least I haven't, I never heard of, like, because everybody has a Department of Education in each state. I never heard of, like, the Department of Education coming by a college or institution I'm at and writing like a check, like doing like an inspection, like, hey, what programs are y'all teaching? Da da da, like actually trying to see what's going on. Da 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 da. Like, I've never seen that. Like, they do not do no. They supposed to police us pretty much, but they don't do that. They do what they want to do in higher ed. So once again, nothing new with that. And then, and it says, what's another one? Right here it says, at large, it says, but there is a large opportunity cost. We already said that. They said no funder can match the Fed's financial health, which means the Fed got unlimited money. And so, it was another right here. This is a good one to talk about. We talk about this, what G said, before I keep going. I have to forgive Linda. Flip the blind. G said, that's because states contribute very little money to higher ed institutions. That's right. They do. They do contribute little money to higher education. They do. States do not. We actually had that SHIO document. I don't think you was in here that day, G. Or Alice Marie. I think I was in here by myself with that one. But I think it was a good live screen. I can't tell you. I don't know which one. But what I do know is that when we was looking at SHIO, it's SHEEO. We was looking at a SHIO document, and it had like from 2022. No, it started from 2020, then it went from like 2023 to 2024. Then it went from 2022 to 2023, then 2024, because we're in 2025. And so it was pretty much showing you how much the state supported the colleges in 2020 because they had to. And then when pretty much the pandemic was over in 2020, it just started dropping like crazy. It just started going down. And then you saw the reflection from when they stopped supporting, you saw the reflection in like the tuition rising a little more. Like, we already know tuition is high, but they started raising their tuition. The moment the state stopped supporting, the tuition gradually started going up. And you could just go look at like, oh, tuition increase here, tuition increase there, like in those times. And so it just makes sense because they're in the negative. Some states are in the negative as in showing support to their higher eds, to their colleges. So which is why institutions have to, of course, charge us more, as if we could just pull money out of nowhere, which is why I feel like once again we're going to that higher ed bubble. We're going to that higher ed bubble, right? And once again, I don't know why people are thinking it's a holiday today. Like, people are not really, like I said, the only people who working right now is the Trump administration, and that's it. I guarantee you, if you call a job right now, nobody's at work. Somebody might pick up, then they might say, well, we're closed tomorrow. Contact us Monday. And I'm like, it's Friday Eve, but you ain't. That's why I put Friday Eve, because I'm just like, the information is thin today, really thin, but I can still get something out of it. It's no problem. And then right here we got operations run lean. So they said adjunct faculty, pretty much faculty. I don't know why I always do it, but faculty keeps cost. Oh, adjunct faculty keep costs down. Administrative staff tend to be thin. Operations like athletics are often limited. So here, very brief. Um, it sounds like they use a faculty in different places. That rant just came out of nowhere. LOL. It comes and goes out of nowhere. I do that sometimes. It comes and goes. But I just be like, because the information, right? I surf, like even yesterday or days before, like I like to build up my content over the week. And definitely, like yesterday, I thought it would have been more news in higher education breaking out about the One Big Beautiful Bill, but it's been thin on LinkedIn, been thin on X, the Department of Education. Department of Education just been focusing on Title IX, and then it's just really like everything is slowing down a little bit as far as like information. Um, Luckily, I know where to go and get information, but it's just crazy how thin it is, and so people take the day off before a federal holiday and the day after. Give it till Tuesday. I'm not giving nothing till Tuesday, Alice Marie. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We got to work around the clock. No days off, right? And so let's keep going. Graduate programs face limits. This is trying to figure this out too. Since federal funding drives research, I'm scratching my head. Got me scratching my head on this one. They always do this. It's amazing to me. Like, you see so many words a day, and you think you can pronounce a lot of words till you just start reading things, and you be like, I can't pronounce that many words like I thought I could.
It's Chew.
Who?
It's Chew. It's Chew. It's Chew.
Eschew?
It's Chew.
Eschew?
It's Chew.
It sound like you saying how chew, but eschew.
It's Chew.
Literally, you saying eschew. So, eschewing government money. What does that mean? That means avoid using. Okay, avoid. So I'm reading some guys. I did not pronounce that word. Eschewing government money. So they said since federal funding drives research, eschewing government money, avoiding government money, pretty much. Avoiding government money limits the number of graduate programs in which an institution can hope to compete for students. Compete, not complete, but compete. Okay, can hope to compete for students. So, as we talked about yesterday as well, graduate programs have been getting cut. Undergraduate programs have been getting cut, but graduate programs have been getting cut. And so a lot of graduate programs, we do research. So like when I write about something and I'm pulling it and researching it, they are taking that. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but they take that. But also in graduate programs, they conduct research depending on the program you're in. But my program is more of I'm getting other people's research and backing up what I'm saying. A lot of people and some other people in graduate school are actually conducting research, like PhD students for sure. And some graduate programs where they do interviews more, the qualitative, quantitative, different methods and all that, right? And so with the limits though, with the graduate program limits, a lot of federal money, as we just talked about before, nobody can really match that federal money. It's crazy that they say we can't match that federal money, but man, like you just think about all the billionaires out there. Why we just can't get them to, come on, man, fund these institutions so we can do some research. Like, just get a little money from the billionaires and the multi-high millionaires who are close to billion, because, like, but it don't work like that. It don't work like that. So we looking thin right now. That's why I say a lot of research. I don't think research. I don't know, guys. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong on this. I could be completely wrong. I don't think the research will slow down that much, but really, if they really not getting no money, because we got to think about the next 3 years, for sure. We got to think about the next 3 years. Like, yeah, y'all really not, or 4, like 3-ish, almost 3.5-ish still. We'll get to 4. But yes, G, because you think their research is so much better. I'm just kidding. But you think their research is so much better. You think Columbia research is so much better than ours. The problem is free and easily accessible research. That is true. The community college, what was it called? I just bookmarked it. But I think the research is done. I think the research is done by Columbia. I just bookmarked it. I'm gonna go to it real quick. No, they just get more billionaire monies. Where is it? I got a folder on here. It's a higher education folder full of a lot of information. I got a lot. Okay, here you go. It's called because I was surprised by it. It's called the Community College Research Center, but it's called Teachers College. Let me know if you heard this, G. Teachers College, Columbia University. Is that at Columbia University? Because I was like Teachers College at Columbia University. Like that's at the top of it. Like, it's called Community College Research Center. And so the Community College Research Center, if we doing like a sub conversation about this real quick, yeah, it's there. So we got Ivy Leagues studying about my 2-year colleges. Like y'all never even went to a 2-year college. How can y'all do a study on us? Columbia has like 23 different schools. Well, we have about probably not that many. I don't know how many schools my university had. I don't even know how many schools they had. So right here, for example, on the community college, I should have did this. I probably should have did this to talk about. So on the Community College Research Center, guys, it says we got some fast facts right quick. So, and this is with Columbia. You see Columbia doing the research. And so they need to hire me then. Let me come out there and do some research. I can get them some real good interview questions and all that good stuff. Of 100 entering degree-seeking community college students, of 100 entering, yeah, I said it right. Of 100 entering degree-seeking community college students, about 31 will transfer to a 4-year institution, and only about 15 will complete a bachelor's degree. And then G said something else, probably boasting about his Ivy. He says that's because they have the money and resources to even do the research. I know a few people who went. We all know a few people, right? And you know me. You can just say you know me. Like, you know him? Be like, yeah, guy on YouTube. Students who meet early momentum milestones are substantially more likely to transfer and complete a bachelor's degree, and this is especially the case for Black and Hispanic students. Y'all are so well versed and inclusive at Columbia. I love how inclusive y'all are. Y'all are very thinking about the different people out here in the world. Every time I read something with Columbia, it's like, I know you're not boasting. Like every time I read something, that's from the website, and I'm also gonna put the website in here real quick. So I can definitely talk about that for sure. I'm about to talk about it. I'm just giving y'all some information. So this the link to the community colleges. But right now I'm on the transfer section. And so it says students who meet, I'm gonna read it one more time just in case we missed it. Students who meet early momentum milestones are substantially more likely to transfer and complete a bachelor's degree. And this is especially the case for Black and Hispanic students. I'll say that one, because black people like to celebrate. It's just that simple. They like to celebrate when they hit an accomplishment. And so they have a good time too. But speaking from my experience though, when I hit early milestones in my 2 year, that did help me a lot because I got 2 graduations. Well, essentially, I'm gonna have 3 graduations, but I don't really plan on walking for my graduate degree, and I can talk about that. But you get 3 graduations essentially. When you get your associate's degree, that's a graduation. Nobody cares if it's a 2 year or 4 year, it's a graduation, which means you're gonna get money from people, from family, friends, gift cards, whatever, right? So then you're like, oh, I need to keep going. You got your associates, you might as well get your bachelor's. That's what I would say to somebody. And then you're like, okay, where should I transfer? Blah, blah, blah. You know me. Articulation agreement. Who does your 2 year have a 4 year agreement, with? Then you transfer to your 4 year, you have another graduation. That's more money, more gift cards from family. And then, because they going to give it up, especially if you ask. And this time, it's like really popular to ask for money through Cash App or Zelle. It's really crazy how inclusive people are to ask for things now. Like it's okay, and it's crazy because I was in that I'm in that generate. Gen Z, like in that range of like we didn't. It wasn't polite to really ask for stuff. Now it's okay to ask for things. It's just a little weird to me. Still getting used to that. And so G said, he said, I know, dude. And so, Columbia is inclusive. What made Columbia different is that they have programs available for students who come from disadvantaged backgrounds to fill in the gap. Whoa. We had something called the Multicultural Affairs Office. Is that essential? That's not even DEI. That's just y'all having that office right there. That's not even DEI. That's just having a multicultural office, especially if you had it before DEI, for example. But they'll claim that's DEI when it's really just you just understand that some people really don't have a head start in life. That's really just what it is. Like people really don't have fair advantages. Like you expect. I get both sides of things. Let's say that because we're nonpartisan. I get both sides. Gee, every time you say you sat on the board of things, which I understand because you can do that in college, you make me think you're older than what you're telling me, like you're a spy. And this is why we go through this every live stream. Yeah, exactly. Not DEI. Yeah, that's not DEI at all. Just by the name. And you could just feel when you typed it that I just know instantly, I guess from working in higher ed, just knowing that's not DEI at all. That's just being inclusive. I just know the difference. Don't ask me how. I just know the difference. Don't ask me. I just know. And so, yeah, G, that's why we go through this. You say I sat on the board, you did all these things. I'm like, which is possible when you're by our age in college. You probably was like a student leader, campus ambassador. I get it. And so, going back, because G comment probably gonna come in a little bit. They say only 8% of community college transfer students who earn a bachelor's degree follow the 2+2 pattern of 2 years at the community college and 2 years at the 4 year. So the 2+2. So I see this a lot on LinkedIn, but what I don't like about it on LinkedIn is that, okay, LinkedIn has a lot of higher ed professionals who do understand it. But you have to think when kids step out of high school, I feel like now they telling you should get a LinkedIn. And so my goal and perspective is that kids should have LinkedIn's in high school. But of course, LinkedIn will have to be stricter on what they post and do because they need to understand that it's professional. And some high schoolers do have a LinkedIn. I learned that at Georgia Tech. Blew my mind. How early that they realized to get a LinkedIn. You said maybe not a spy. G. And so that's what I'm talking about right there. 2+2 pattern for 2+2 pattern for 2 years at the community college and 2 years at the 4 year college. Right, it is right. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I've seen a little bit. And so the 2+2 is pretty much like what I did. I did 2 years at the community college, and I did 2 years at that university, right? And so most people don't do that, and they said only 8% follow that. And I talked about that yesterday a little bit, like because I always try to talk about a 2 year. A lot of students do 1 year at a community college and they think they're good, and then they transfer to a university, which messes them up a lot because they think the credit is going to transfer and the credit is not going to transfer. Or they do get their associate's degree, right? They'll get one of these associate's degree, but that associate's degree, they didn't do it under, like they said, the 2+2 program. You have to do it under the 2+2, known as articulation agreement, known as pathway agreements. You have to do it under there because then that's when it's going to transfer all your credits. It's really important to do. But they said only 8% of community college transfer students do that. That's very low. That's very low. That means the lack of information is reaching them. And then I have an old video, guys. It's probably not old, but it's like 2 years ago. I think now at this point, or 3 years ago, when I was in Valdosta, and I asked the young lady in the interview, I said either she didn't know what a community college was or 2 year college was. She thought it was a trick question, or she didn't know you saved $10,000 and more. And I don't think it was you saved $10,000 and more because I know a lot of people don't know that. But I think for sure she didn't know about 2 year colleges, and I was very shocked she didn't know about that because I was like, so high schools, we already know high schools push universities and Ivies for my people like G out there. They push them up, universities and Ivy, but you gotta be top of your class to get an Ivy pushed at you. But really, I feel like I could have been at an Ivy though with my mindset. I really feel like it. Give the brother a shout out. I feel like I could have been in that Ivy League. Why? I got a different type of thinking. I got some research and different perspectives they can use. You know? I feel like I got that. I feel like I got that. And then G said, LinkedIn is just professional social media. But LinkedIn is getting more lenient, I feel like. It's getting a little more lenient. Like LinkedIn is like, I see, man, it's got all kinds of content on there. You got people recording in their bathroom, talking about what you should say in your interviews. You got people on there like, what they at work. They're saying this, that. They doing all the little content creations. LinkedIn is getting a little better. It's behind a lot, but yeah, it's getting a little better. And then G said, I know a guy who makes fun of a LinkedIn. I know a guy who makes fun of a lot of LinkedIn. I know a guy who makes fun of a lot LinkedIn and posts sometimes on YouTube. So what you're saying he makes fun of the LinkedIn posts? Like he's like what he's saying LinkedIn posts are like so formal and square. And then that's because it's social media, LOL. At the end of the day. Yes. So they said, why we study transfer. Transfer is a core part of community college mission. I never could see. It don't seem like they advertise it enough, if you ask me. Transfer is. So I'm back on the community college research website. They say transfer is a core part of the community college mission. Transfer matters because of the value of a bachelor's degree for lifetime earnings and other individual benefits, as well as a societal benefits of supporting the information economy and a vibrant, diverse democracy. And so, as I said before, guys, a bachelor's is so important. And I know we talk about it a lot, but it's really important. Like, yesterday, I was researching a company. I won't say the company because the company is very popular, but it's very affordable, very good price. Thinking about entering a position on it to get returns in the stock market. But when I was reviewing and doing my homework on the company, I was looking at their board of directors, right? And I just couldn't help but notice, like, why do people say you don't need a degree? I just, it rings in my head. It's like, put me on Jubilee. Shout out to their YouTube channel. I like their little interviews. Put me in the middle and surround me with a whole bunch of people saying a bachelor's degree is not important. You know, because I would debate about that for a good minute. I would debate that till my voice crack. Because I was looking at the board of directors on the company. Some of them went to Ivies. Some of them, of course, went to regular public schools. And then it's just all of them were very educated. All of them got bachelor degrees. And I just think like people think so small who don't know no better. Like it's like you gotta forgive me guys. I've been out of the loop. I'm still not caught up on social media. I'm moving my hands. I'm still not caught up on social media because I was out of the loop for 5 to 6 years. And so it's like it's a time now people think you don't need a bachelor's and you need a bachelor's to get, like I said, government jobs. Even if you want to be on the board, you don't have to have a bachelor's to be on somebody's board of directors. But it's just the fact that, man, like, it's like those certain requirements that can just hold you from making easy money, right? Like, I'm pretty sure we all met somebody who doesn't do nothing at their job and they make good money. Not a lot of money, but they make good money because we do know more responsibility, more money, more responsibility. Usually. And I seen G was saying something that we had some people in the chat. Oh, it's G up here typing up a storm. Real quick before we go back. Oh, okay. He makes fun of people who have some outlandish takes. Yes. LinkedIn, man. I was telling my girl, and she thought LinkedIn. I said LinkedIn is she said she thinks LinkedIn is conservative. I don't think LinkedIn is conservative. I think it's both a little bit. I think it's both. Because some people be in it, they be going wild in the comment section. Like, let Linda say something, man, they going crazy on Linda. And then like, it's crazy. I get mixed reviews on there though. I get mixed reviews. And so mention it, we all friends here. He said mention it, we all friends here. Nah, I can't mention it. I don't think you do need one. No, you don't need one. No, you don't need one. I just believe there is an artificial need for one. Yeah. If you finish that video, I recommend he also talks a little about that. About what, G? Which video? I thought I was gonna burp. And then as we keep going, and here we go again. See, I just keep going into this not DEI, but into the cultural awareness, the degrees. Yet, they say only 28% of black adults and 21% of Hispanic adults over the age of 25 in the United States hold a bachelor's degree. That's very low. When the last time they did this? Because in some research, I seen that Hispanics were ahead of us. Needing a BA. Oh, he made a video about that too. I'm gonna go check him out again. I think I subscribe. I'm gonna make sure I subscribe because I do want some of those fan bases. If they all like UG, I want some of those fan bases from Employee Matter. Employee Matter. If I said that right, they're gonna get me if I said that wrong. And so, yeah, only 28% of black adults and 21% of Hispanic adults over the age of 25 in the United States hold a bachelor's degree, compared with 42% of white adults who hold a bachelor's degree. Similarly, only 15% of young adults from the lowest income backgrounds complete a bachelor's degree by age 24. Only 15% of young adults from the lowest income backgrounds complete a bachelor's degree by the age of 24. That is somewhat scary true. I'm going to say that real quick. That is somewhat scary true. Because I know a lot of people in low income. Because I got friends and peers, you know. And they have not completed their bachelor's by 24. It's scary that that's accurate right there. They have not completed their bachelor's. Did I complete my bachelor's by 20? Yeah, I completed my bachelor's at trying to complete it at 20. No, I completed it at 22. Yeah, 22 or 21. Either way, I was before 24. But that's crazy. It's hard for them. I tell when I talk to them about it, if we talking from real life experience, right? On the like, I got a debt free degree, but it's hard for some people just to submit some assignments. Sometimes it's hard for some people to submit an assignment because I was like, why you ain't just submit the assignment? The instructor usually gives you like literally gives you sometimes. In most cases, instructors just be like, I'm glad you submit your schoolwork on time, and they'll give you a passing grade. That's at least what I felt when I was going to get my associates and bachelor's. I was just submitting my assignments on time, and that's what built my confidence about college. College was like not what I thought it was. See, in high school, feel free to jump in on this, y'all. Alice Marie, G, and whoever joins the chat. High school felt more like right or wrong, right? Like you didn't do this math problem right, or you didn't get this grammar sentence right. College was more of how to learn and why did you get this answer. That's how college was. And when I started noticing like why you want my perspective on stuff, why you want my input on things, because people are all, at least good professors and great professors, are always looking for new solutions and new thought processes, right? New experiences. And so that's how college was. That's how I felt at my 2 year. That's how I felt at my 4 year, and that's how I feel at graduate school. My professor at one point has never said we had like a wrong answer. It's like no such thing as a wrong answer because everybody has a different perspective, right? And you could be far off, misled, but no, there's no such thing as a wrong answer. And I think everybody should comment on that because college and high school is such a big difference. And so G says, those stats make sense to me because it's the finishing, right? That's actually the main point to format a video. And that's why Columbia has programs for students who come from disadvantaged backgrounds. They even have a few where you come the summer before your first year to practice. See, like that's just helpful. See, that's helpful information. Like most people don't even know that because I'm gonna be real with you. People don't even have a clue, G. That's why I feel like, like we building something here, G. You, Alice Marie, when y'all keep joining, hopefully most people catch on to the video. I don't have a lick of knowledge about Ivy Leagues, right? But I can go to G, who has all the information about Ivy Leagues. Like let me tell you what I knew. Let me tell you what I knew, G. Alice Marie. Let me tell you what I knew about Ivies. I ain't know nothing about Ivies. But let me tell you what I did know. I knew that sports, you can leave in the summer and start practicing early and training early for, the season. But I didn't know you can leave early as an academic student and start pretty much prepping yourself for your courses. I didn't know you could do that in college. I don't know if that's college, but definitely at Columbia, Ivy League, you could do that. And we don't understand how like most people think Ivy League is, don't get me wrong, G. I'm not saying it's not hard, but I'm pretty sure it's more of like, because they have such a high graduation rate, it's more of teaching you how to learn and better your mindset so you can pass the classes. Like, I'm not doubting that it's not hard, but most people would think, oh, I can't go to no Ivy League. They'll shut themselves down and like, I can't go to Ivy. And so right. My first high school was like that, but my second high school was on a college campus. See? And then I feel like LOL, as you grow, I may be out of place. I'll be here, but I ultimately have to fade back to be less dominated. Of course, we had horrible professors as well. Everybody got some horrible professors, and I get that you have to fade back and be less dominating, G, because we don't want to scare people off, right? Like we all know, intelligence will scare somebody. When you know too many things, we already know Uncle Sam don't like people who know too many things. So you can't know too many things and be saying too many things because then we got a problem, right? But we want to keep building that. I want somebody in here in a group chat or a live chat. I keep saying group chat. I want somebody in here from the live chat who went to Harvard, who went to Brown, put people from public colleges. I went to Valdosta State. I went to a 2-year college. More people from 2-year colleges. But a lot of the college students want to learn. They want to learn. That is the difference from low income students and people from disadvantaged backgrounds. They're not taught that, they're not around people who want to learn. And like, I think it's still like that today. That was like the biggest culture shock for me when I went to college. That was the biggest culture shock. When I went to college, I was amazed by how the class was quiet. Because I was used to a classroom full of distractions in high school and middle school. Shoot, even elementary. Like Title I schools, or poverty schools, low income schools, man, it's a lot of distractions. So when I went to my first college class, so I was in there with students who trying to be nurses, because I'm at a 2-year. These people got full-time jobs. Some of them balancing full-time work, kids, and going to school. They some hustlers, man. Shout out to them. They hustlers, because balancing a family, full-time work, and going to college, that's different. That's different. On the whole, they different for that. But they wanted to learn, and the classroom was so quiet, I didn't even want to crack a joke no more, because I think they were gonna look at me crazy. Like, hey, I'm paying for school here. You need to go ahead and get out or do something, because this ain't a game. It was like real. And then you got some competitiveness, and it was real competitive. And so G said, at this point, it seems like a group chat, but I'm sure it will change. We'll see, G. We'll see. We don't People in America, I'm talking about them right now. They don't value education right now. They don't value it. And then G also said that's it right there. That's it there. It's no real determination or motivation to get an education in lower income areas. Exactly. I went to a Title I school district for most of my K-12 education. We had a lot of Teach for America teachers. Oh. So are you saying my school was so bad that Teach for America teachers eventually stopped coming to my district? Teach for America, I read a book by Dr. Benita Love. I think she talked about Teach for America. Teach for America, they not certified though, right? I remember reading the book at that time when I read this book in graduate school, G. And Dr. Benita Love wrote that book about how Teach for America teachers were not even certified. It was people who just jumped into teaching because they just need to teach for money, pretty much. They did not need to get a certification. They didn't have to be certified. They didn't have to have a teacher background. And so Dr. Benita Love gave a bad take on Teach for America. So when I see Teach for America, I don't think it's good, usually, because it's sent them right to, like you said, to Title I schools. And then the kids wasn't learning anything. And then if you really conducted high schools, if you really had that, if all teachers brought that perspective of, I get that these kids have to have the basics, right? They have to have like math skills or reading skills. So you got to really be like, it's like a boot camp. Like K-12 is like boot camp in education, drilling you with right and wrongs, how you get this answer. Don't use a calculator. I remember, man, we didn't even use calculators at my school in middle school, all through 6th through 8th grade. Didn't use a calculator. And then when I got onto the test in Georgia, for all my people in Georgia, I think they all know about this. We had the CRCT. I don't know if that was just my city, but I don't know if my state just had that or that was in my city. We didn't use a calculator through my whole middle school. And then up into the test, when we took that big exam test, then they give us a calculator. I don't even know how to use the calculator. But then you learn about this thing in life called the stock market, where you go watch movies like The Big Short and see all these Wolf of Wall Street movies. They got calculators all on the desk. As you get older, you're like, what? I'll never forget my financial because I was so that's still engraved in me not to use a calculator. Like I'm quick to pull out a calculator now. I think it's out of my system though. And so G has been saying right here, guys, as we're having this conversation, it's a really good conversation, needed conversation. G said, yeah, our teachers were certified, but my gifted education teacher told me that I could pass the teacher certification program in ninth grade. Oh wow. Schools still hire uncertified teachers outside of that program as well because they have a need for teachers. They do. Especially in states like Mississippi where they are always like 49 or 50. That's so bad. Well, I think in an earlier live stream, I think we talked about how schools need to move into a more modern times. Yeah, for sure. We talking about K through 12 perspective right now, G, or college still? Like embracing AI rather than penalizing. Oh, we talking about all education. Like embracing AI rather than penalizing its use. Yeah, for sure. I hate tech-free schools. yeah, cause because a tech-free school. If we running off the chat right now, we are running off the chat, which I don't mind. A tech-free school, at least in higher education, because I'm in college, right? It's always in the syllabus that we shouldn't use AI. Well, if I had to go back to my girlfriend, she using AI. They say it's okay for her to use AI, but she has to do something about how she used it or why she used it or whatever like that. But definitely in my major or in my program, my house, my school, and something like Gryffindor. Oh, you good? Sound like in my college of Gryffindor. Let me stop playing. We cannot use AI still. Why? I don't know. That's the problem because everybody in my program is like, guys. I got a lot of full time staff in my college. Like a lot of people in my college are like older. They're like people who got like 10 years experience in higher education, 15 years of experience, and one of them she was inclusive about it. She was inclusive about it. She actually wrote a paper on it and how it can help streamline higher education, make it more smoother. And so, are not your courses more discussion based? They are. They are discussion boards, but we write a lot. Like we'll have like opinionated papers, op-ed papers in there. And my professor, he gets mad at us because he was like, "Y'all didn't try to publish your papers. They were really good op-eds." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want nobody." But we write like opinion papers where we still got to back up, with where we get this from, to back up what we're talking about. Then we have in between papers leading into our main paper where we write our big 10 to 12 page paper or more. And so that's usually how it's structured, G. But definitely that the discussion boards are in there as well. Definitely in there. And a lot of people in my class can't, of course I won't say their name, but they've been using the chat G not is it chat? Yeah, they've been using chat GBT for the discussions, like replies. And I was like, I don't want to get in that habit. Want to keep the typing skills up because when we type so much, it does help with our typing skills. And so, well, what I'm saying is harder for AI to be an issue for writing your entire paper at the very least. Yeah, it's hard for AI to write my paper, man. AI wrote my paper. Man, college will be over. I don't even think AI should be able to write a paper. If AI can write a paper, you're gonna have a lot of woo. Let's just know it's gonna be a lot of unethicalness going on. They probably use ChatGPT because they don't want to really participate that well. Yeah, they don't believe in higher education. That's a whole nother topic I'm about to put in here. Hold on real quick. And then I'll go back to the community college real quick. And our last topic, yeah, Friday. right there, G. They don't. One dude sued his school that claimed he wrote his paper with AI. They don't believe in higher education. One thing I don't like about G. One thing I don't like about my program a little bit, I would say, is that what I don't like about my program is that, or higher education in general, you have a lot of people there who don't believe in higher education. A lot of people are doing it for the money, and that's okay. I get it. Everybody has their different reasons, right, of why they do career paths, but they don't really believe like in it and how like it can really help a kid, who doesn't have an education. I don't think my classmates really understand the value of education fully. Well, they do to some extent because they got it, but how some people have something but don't treat it right. Like the best example I can give is like when I got a new pair of shoes, right? I didn't have that many pair of shoes. I had a pair of shoes, right? If I had some nice shoes, right? I had some all white forces for my people out there. I got some all white forces. I don't want to mess my all white forces up because if I mess up my all white forces, I can't get another pair to the next school year. And that's how I feel about education. Like the people have a lot of pair of shoes, right? They have a lot of education already, so they're like getting another education or not really mentioning how valuable education is to a kid. To the kid doesn't really matter at the end of the day, as long as they just go to college. Because I got student loans, because going back to a 2-year to 4-year degree, how I got a debt-free degree, I got student loans, they going to get student loans. That's how it's being treated in my program. That's how it's being treated. They got student loans, I got them, they going to get them. It's going to keep going, and nothing going to change. That's how the people feel about it, and I don't think that's true. And then G said, you don't think that would change for you over time? Because they probably became jaded if you said they were older. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think it would change for me, G. I carry, you probably could tell, G, I carry a chip on my shoulder, man. Like, I do. I carry a hard chip on my shoulder because it came from sports. I'll be honest with you. The chip on my shoulder came from sports. But then I started noticing the chip on my shoulder started carrying over into everything else. I'm that type of person people look over, G. I'm a look over person. And I'm not even like saying like I'm a look over person. I can't stress that enough. And people are like, how you look over person? Like, so I can go do a job interview, right? And I can say everything right. I think most people say I'm like that too, but I'll keep going. I could do a job interview, say everything right, don't say nothing different from the next person. I'll say some things that are ambitious, but I try to keep it a little conservative because you don't want to scare nobody in an interview, right? And Henry, I guess because my name is Henry, my first name is Henry. It's very simple, right? And it's just like we'll skip over him. And then in sports, it was kind of the same situation. I played baseball first. I was a baseball player first, and then my parents really didn't care. My dad, he didn't too much care for baseball like he did with the other sports. So they didn't really try to put me in like a higher league of baseball. It's all made sense at the end. And so when I got to high school, baseball fell out of the realm. I started playing basketball in middle school. Middle school, I didn't get no playing time. So that starts to chip on your shoulder because you like, man, I'm supposed to get playing time. Henry isn't a bad name, but people do have their picks and chooses under the guise of culture fit. You always gotta say something wise, don't you, G? I'm gonna get back to the story real quick. I'm gonna get back to the story. I'm telling you the story about the chip on my shoulder real quick. It all makes sense at the end of the day. It all makes sense. Why I won't ever. I feel like this is why I never will be jaded, and it's good and bad because you kind of carry a little stress naturally, but it's good stress. I feel like, and so the chip on the shoulder, I didn't get no playing time in middle school when I first started playing, so that started there, and then high school. Because I stopped playing baseball in high school because I took a year off. When you take a year off in baseball, it's hard. I don't know if you play baseball, G, or anybody in the chat, but it's hard to bounce back off that year you took off in baseball. It's hard. It's not like any other sport. It's hard. And so baseball was out of the question, right? And so, and my baseball team was terrible. We was getting beat like, oh my goodness, like 15-1. It was terrible, and I wasn't used to losing in baseball. That was terrible. And so went to basketball. Basketball I had five coaches in 4 years of high school. And then the one coach got fired my senior year. And then every coach I had in high school for basketball, they took away my playing time and I had to work my way back up every time. So if you take somebody's playing time and they have to work their way back and get it again and get it again, you build something in them that they can't be stopped. So when they get a new obstacle, it's just like, okay, it's another obstacle, another barrier, more barriers. Okay, whatever. It don't even at a certain point, you just start being like, it don't matter. You just start making excuses. You know, it don't even matter no more. And so then it carries over into real life because it was more barriers. I didn't have a car. How am I gonna get to school? I took the city bus transportation to get to my community college. Okay. Oh, I didn't have money to go to a big school, even though I wasn't trying to go to college. It wasn't like I had the money to go. So that's a barrier. Oh, you get a financial advisor, then you say, oh, I want to invest this amount of money. They say you need this amount of money to even try to grow and get this type of return. So then it starts getting and then you just start getting more barriers in life. Then you just start sitting back, and then you just do it, like, and that's how you just keep going. Then people tell you like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then you be like, what? Then that's where the other part comes in, like anything is possible. So, and then the rest. We can talk more about that in different times. I like to share the conversation with my live screen, but no, I don't think I ever will get jaded. I do think a lot of people do get jaded. They lose that instance, they lose that grind because I don't know how they lose it, honestly. Maybe they got too many items. Maybe I got a theory. I got a theory, G. If you still here, I got a theory. And Alice Marie, if you here, I got a theory. I got a theory. If you have too many things early, I feel like that does make you deep down. I do feel like that would make me lose my edge. Like I feel like that make you lose your edge. Like how people say, I want to travel to different countries, I want to go to different states and travel. I feel like that makes you lose your edge. Because if you do it so early and when you're young, you don't have nothing to look forward to when you get older. If that makes sense. Now I could be completely wrong, and there's always different perspectives to that. But that's what I feel when you take a lot of vacations, when you try to do everything so early and so fast, you have nothing to look toward. And then you just like, now I just gotta go to work so I can try to get to this next vacation. Now I need to do this or da da da. But my vacation is coming up again one day. It's coming again. I'm gonna do that again. And then what if you don't get back to that point? Then you like, well, I'm never gonna get back there because I'm in this situation. Then you just start deteriorating a little bit. Like, that's what I feel though. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. And I appreciate that, G, showing love, because I see what you said right there. But that's why I started this channel in the first place. Yeah, because people told me in this channel, they said this channel wouldn't work. Like, they said the channel, I should have live streamed a long time ago a little bit, but you figure it out as you go. But they said nobody would listen or pay for the services when I went through different motions of trying to help kids started a 2-year bridge to a 4-year who need the services and education. Oh, oh, G said something real quick. And then I'm gonna say, we're gonna call it people being negative. think this submit. There you go. And G said, I don't think advantages are bad. I want to give my child every advantage I didn't have. That probably is not knowing how to. Oh, probably is not knowing how to elevate past that. And then G also said, for some reason, especially in the low income and black community, it's hard to see past entertainment and leisure. My goodness, it is. It really is, G. I was going, dang, G, you got two back-to-back topics to talk about or hit on real quick. Giving your child the best, like giving your child more than you had, so they don't have to go through what you went through, there's nothing wrong with that. One of my brothers now, he scribes so his daughter can be a lawyer, a doctor. My niece, and ain't nothing wrong with that at all. Like making sure she can have the head start she can have, so she can go be a doctor or a lawyer. And I think that's what we need more of. You know, you still got to include that hard work, right? So chores. You know, if she wants something, she needs to know like how hard she need to work to get it. Like just remember like how hard you need to work your way to that. Cause I actually my dad and them, my mom and them and dad and them, they kind of spoiled me in that area. I bet you like what? How they spoil you and you from low income? Because I didn't have to have a job in high school. As I said before, I played sports. Some people still play sports and work. Not me though. I was strictly sports, like around the clock. I lifted weights like 2, 3 times a day. Um, then I would run miles all day. I ran because I did cross country as well my senior year. So then I run miles all day. Man, I could have went to the Marines at one point. I could have been in the Marines. And so don't forget to like and subscribe too, y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps push the video out. And I'll make sure to change the headline on this as well. I'll make sure to change the titles because that's why I've been typing it in here. We're gonna say, as I write the headline, 15%. And then journey. Hope all this can fit in here. And then we're gonna keep Friday even there. We still gotta keep Friday even there. Friday you gotta stay. Cause I'm gonna change the headlines when we done. Been getting some more comments. No, I'm skinny now. I never been that type of build, if that's the word. And I do want to talk about that though. That leisure you said. Just work harder at something else. That's what I mean by elevate past that. You can still have a hardship, but your hardship doesn't have to be mine. That big hoodie must be hiding a lot of muscle. My goodness, LOL. Nah, I wasn't that much of a trust. It was people who did way more than me, and it's sad how they ended up too. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. It was people who did more sports than me, man. If I told you, like, it's so many talented people. I know it's talented people everywhere, right? Different countries, but if I tell people all the charisma, the debate skills, so many people had in the community, which we all seen before, right? But they don't have like those resources. Like my high school didn't have a debate team. I wish my high school had a debate team because I probably would have been on the debate team because I like to talk. Now they've been like, you know, that word me that you said, I'd be like, no, but I do understand how to use it, and then it'd be funny, be a funny laughing. And so, well, your hardship doesn't have to be the same as mine. That's true. He played basketball. Yeah. You're athletic lean, I'm guessing. Yeah, more lean. You say you play tennis, barely. Yeah, schools and priorities. Schools and priorities. Like the mindset I have now, you couldn't get me to do sports. But I'm thankful for the sports though, because a lot of the sports, help me with my working out now, right? It keeps me, it's a requirement to work out. Like most people get worked up about it. I just go do it and work out. It's not hard to. And the sports are good for connections. Like having that basketball skill, everybody loves basketball. So being able to play basketball helps me with connections sometimes. Like, oh, we can go play ball and it's nothing, right? And so GX said, as opposed to knowledge activities like deviate, oh, debate. As opposed to knowledge activities like debate. Yeah. Yeah, schools and their priorities were sports. Yeah, schools, man, they always prioritize sports, man. I don't know why. Cause it goes back to what you said up here, G. I wanted to talk about that too. Feel like that's a much needed conversation. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it, G? Hold on. Cause I do not want to put words in your mouth. Right here, you said, for some reason, especially in the low income and black community, it's hard to see past entertainment and leisure. That is so true. I wanted to talk about that because it is. And like I think that's why it's harder for the YouTube channel, frankly, a little bit. But yeah, it's hard cuz of course when I do something like I said earlier on, and I always repeat it, I don't care about really nobody. I don't speak on nobody's other demographic for one cuz I'm not that. I don't speak on it. I don't talk about it. But I do focus on my culture heavily. And there is nobody that looked like me, at least, talking about higher education to this day. And nobody really knows how to navigate it. Even if you got higher ed professionals, they think the best route always is starting at a 4 year. And like we said, most of you go look at the stats, they're going to say low income, black adults, and more, and they fall into student loans. Go look at research, easy research for sure. They'll say, oh, low income black adults are more likely to pull out student loans. Well, they're more likely to pull out student loans because you're sending them right to a 4 year, thinking their Pell is going to cover their college education, and it's not. And so instead of telling them like, look, maybe you should start at a 2 year, but if they do got the money, they do got the scholarships, they do got these other routes, then they should go to like a bigger school, maybe an Ivy, maybe a university, a big university private that's close to Ivy. If they don't have the money, they should start at a 2 year and bridge to a 4 year. It's really that simple. And nobody's talking about it. I don't think it's popular. Cause LinkedIn, I'm calling them out again. On LinkedIn, they don't even like it. The higher ed professionals, I got a lot of higher ed professionals on my LinkedIn. They do not repost my content. They don't like my content. They don't do nothing. They probably come in here and watch these videos and don't say nothing. That's cool. But man, it's weird. Like I said, different mindset. We're like non-traditional, essentially. We don't have that traditional higher ed mindset. We have a non-traditional perspective, so can't get too worked up about it. G said that's because 2 years we're seen either as a place for trade or not being qualified for a 4 year, and treated loans as a given, literally treated loans as a given. And then that's why we are in the predicament that we are in. And so I don't think you can, at least in my community, you can't help my community by telling them all to start at a 2 year. You can't. I mean, not start at 2 year. Lord, I said that wrong. You can't help them by telling them to start at a 4 year, and not at least get them the college terminology a little bit. They don't need the whole thing. I didn't have the whole thing. It wasn't like I had a manual to do this. They just need to have an idea, just an idea, value, like But we all know that's talked about a lot, though. Like, you know. So let's pull another fact. That was a great conversation, much needed. I feel relieved. I feel relieved. You feel relieved? I feel relieved a little bit. And that was about transfer. That started with transfer. We got anything else before we do our end of review? Do we got any breaking news out? Anybody got any breaking news? Make sure the one big beautiful bill didn't get passed while we was talking. You know, that's possible. We're gonna find out, G. Like you said, just keep working at it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. I can't. All right, we got a little something. It's by Hakeem Jeffries. I'm gonna play the video. We got a little something, cause like I said, it's going down up in there right now. I wish I had front row seats to hear it.
Stand on this House floor and take my sweet time to tell.
Let's play it back.
I feel the obligation, Mr. Speaker, to stand on this House floor and take my sweet time to tell the stories of the American people. And that's exactly what I intend to do. Take my sweet time on behalf of the American people, on behalf of their health care, on behalf of their Medicaid, on behalf of their nutritional assistance, on behalf of veterans, on behalf of farmers, on behalf of children, on behalf of seniors, on behalf of people with disabilities, on behalf of small businesses, on behalf of every single American. I'm on this House floor after 6 a.m. and I'm planning to take my sweet time. I feel the obligation, Mr. Speaker.
That was Hakeem Jeffries saying he's gonna take his sweet time, cause as we know, he's a Democrat. Hakeem Jeffries is a Democrat, if I'm not mistaken, guys. I'm gonna be honest. You know me, I'm not the type to say I just know who everybody. Yeah, he's a Democrat in New York, and so that's how they're delaying the bill. We need them to get it more. Well, hopefully they are coming up with some, so they can take some more stuff out. But he said he's gonna take his sweet time, so the bill don't get passed through. And so that's what's going on in the House right now. He the leader of the Democratic Party. He about to filibuster. He about to filibuster. Democrats on the edge right now, man. They are on the edge. Crazy times. They are on the edge right now. That's when they talk for a very long time. Yeah, delay everything. Cause there's a lot of pressure. Of course, we know the White House, Trump administration, they posting stuff. It's a lot of posts on X, trying to stay in the loop. It's a lot of like posting saying, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it, just pass it, pass it, pass it. Like they just trying to pressure them to pass it. And then Mike Collins said something too. Like the one big beautiful bill is really a big deal. But you already know how it works, G. It won't be a big deal. People won't talk about this bill until like 3 or 4 years later, or maybe longer. But when it start kicking in and hitting regular people's lives, just like normal, then people start talking about it. Then people start mentioning it in YouTube videos. Then people start mentioning it, da da da, when it actually get signed and implemented. And then G says, when they talk for a very long time, to prevent the passage of a bill, that's because they're about to cut Medicaid and food stamps and WIC, yup, and Social Security, yup, things they said they wouldn't, yup, yup. And I was telling my mama and my grandma on the phone, I was like, I was in Best Buy, G. I was in Best Buy at the time. Best Buy getting the advertisement. I was in Best Buy, but get billionaire tax breaks. Yup. I was in Best Buy talking to my mom and grandma. We was all on three-way. And I was like, yeah, Trump, and because when election time was going on, I was like, at the time when it was Trump, not the administration, Trump was like, hey, we trying to, that was like, they talking about cutting out, because my girlfriend's real big on looking at the, what he called it? What do you call that? It was something called like 47, Agenda 47, I think that's what it was called. Before he actually became, it's when he was in election time. I think it was like Agenda 47. I forgot the name of it, but it's what he said what he was gonna do. And my mom and them laughed because they thought it was like they ain't never gonna take it away. They ain't never gonna take it away. And I was like, I don't think you should, because I read books on Trump. Like I remember learning that at a 2-year college. Some people was like, if you saw a person reading this book, what would you think? And then that opened my perspective very early on that. Yeah, that and Project 2025. Yeah. So yeah, I was close. Yeah, and so, well, I keep going, and then I read Trump book. I read his book. I watched 2 of his documentaries, I think, on Netflix at the time, and because I was trying to learn him, I didn't know much about Trump. Because I didn't even get to vote the first time. So, the first time I was in high school. And so, yeah. So, yeah, that's politics. Politics is interesting, right? And so, what else I was going to say? It was something else I was about to say. That, food stamps, WIC, yeah. And I was learning Trump because I didn't know much about Trump. I was learning Trump, and everything he said he was going to do in his book, he did it. Even in his documentary, he did it. And so I knew whoever won in presidency this upcoming year, right? I knew if Trump won, I said everything he said, because my mom and them thought he wasn't going to do it. I was like, everything he said he was going to do, unless somebody... because I think some like his vice president wasn't like his last vice president didn't like him or something like that, right? But I was like, as long as he got the team that's gonna, as they say, kiss the ring, he's gonna do everything he said, and that's who he is. For reading his book, watching his documentaries, and learning him a little bit, he's gonna do everything he says. And so colleges are so fearful because we go back to higher education, right? That they know it's going to happen. And we are talking about it early, G, because of course we'll have to wait for it to kick in. Like, we might see, no exaggeration, G. I could be a little exaggerating, but I think we might see 5. I might be overdoing it, but I think we'll see like 5 to 10% tuition price increases. Now, we never know what can come in the middle of it and what new bills can come in, because we might start seeing a big shortage of students going to college, which could make them go to a 2-year and do an early trade and make them get back into the trades. Maybe that's the whole point. Drive up the college tuition, make college, like universities and stuff, more expensive. So it forces you to go to a 2-year and do a trade and go build up America and be a manufacturer again. Theory, but we'll have to play this back at this time. So, that is that, man. And I just know, like, college tuition and mandatory fees are going to raise by 5 to 10%. And hypothetically valued at 10%. Yeah, I personally think college should be more market based. And so, actually, I might learn something here from you, G. When you say more market based, what do you mean by market based? Teach me something right now so I can get more. What do you mean by market based? I'm gonna wait for that answer real quick. And while I wait for that answer from you, I am going to find a school to do for our last, as we close out. I'm going to find a school we can research. That school I know we didn't talk about. Market base. I don't know what market base. I don't know what that means. I want to learn that real quick. I probably do know what it is. Probably didn't know the term. So G said, so that's how I chose my school. I didn't even consider Emory because it was the only school that wanted to charge me. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I do know what that mean. Okay. How we choose products and services. Keep going. I'm in there. I'm listening. What's the best bang for your buck? There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Market based though. Okay. Yeah, that's a perspective I took. Going to school in a rural area. Cause city prices were crazy. It wasn't even that. The schools in cities, of course, we're in Georgia, so the only school that was in the city was Atlanta, and the schools in Atlanta, like they had schools that were affordable. Honestly, maybe they had a few that if I wanted to come up here sooner, right? But it's just the cost of the area, though. At the end of the day, it's just it was just the cost of the area. So I was like, no, I'm working backwards and picked accordingly. I don't think most people are. Yeah, people are not. They just pick a school and go. Like nobody wants to sit down and look at the pros and cons of a school. They said, no, I want to go and I want to participate in March Madness and party all day in college. That's all I want to do. I got to go though. I see you soon. Nice chat. All right, G. Appreciate you. And so we about to do our last breakdown anyway. I was trying to find a college. Need to get a college. What college on here? Have I done it? Yeah, I did University of Michigan. I know I did University of Michigan. Chat GPT. Just ask you. Chat GPT. My search bar. Here you go. Yeah, go. All right, G. We'll see. Peace, chicken grease. And so maybe that came in late. G probably was gone, and that part just came in late. All right, yeah, we could do that. We could do University of Arizona. I'll take that. I don't think I did. Yeah, we could do that. University of Arizona. We could definitely do that. My computer is going fast today, guys. Don't know why. I don't want to jinx it. And then Google, because we gotta have the tuition and fees up. And I already know. University of Arizona, tuition and fees. Perfect. So, wowza, so many of you all. This should take us about 2 hour mark. If not, it's okay. So we're doing the University of Arizona. We're about to break down Arizona. They are the red, blue, and white. Their logo is an A with American flag colors. And yeah, I really don't know their logo, but that's cool though, right? University of Arizona. So they have a graduation rate of 63%, first and foremost. They have a graduation rate of 63%. That's over the midpoint, but out of a 100% scale, it's a F. It's 63%. And in some places it's a D, most places it's an F, and yeah, that is their graduation rate. That's not a good graduation rate for the University of Arizona. The average cost at University of Arizona is about $16,000 a year. But they say you can have a salary, you can make over 60,000 or under 60,000 though, after going to the school. Now we need to fact check their annual costs, because 16,000, yeah, that's up there, but you already know universities, you got to remember to include meal plans and on-campus housing. So let's go see their tuition, because it says about 16 grand. They got, first year, I'm a first-time college student, or I'm transferring. I like that. They have transfer up here. I'm transferring from another college or university. I like that. But we don't really want that. We want to get the tuition per credit hour for ourselves. So I guess we'll just click on we are a first-time student. And of course, they're not showing us the tuition per credit hour. They're trying to tell us what is the expected cost of tuition. We don't want the expected. We want the actual cost. We want the actual, if I calculate it, I know exactly how much I'm looking at. Even before you get Pell or anything, or as a financial aid student, or yeah, we just want to know. Because they always factor in financial aid stuff to discount your price. And we don't want that right now. We want to know how much is the tuition per credit hour, which is very important. And then they say right here, don't let the sticker price scare you. Don't let the sticker price scare you is interesting. Creative, but interesting. And so, where is it? I'm going to find it. They got tuition and fees, because they don't have it in here. They show me everything but what we need to. That is okay, right? All right. Since they don't want to show us the actual tuition per credit hour, we're going to run with that. So, and I don't even think that includes housing, guys. Like I said, I don't know why they do that. That's bad marketing on their part, especially if you got somebody like me trying to calculate their tuition, calculate the cost. It's not a good look. So the University of Arizona is trying, the way they are telling me on their website, that their estimated cost of tuition is $13,900. Now, at the the Department of Education, College Scorecard says it's about 16 grand to go here. But they're saying it's about 14 grand to go here right now, just with tuition. That doesn't include housing. So I'm gonna get my calculator out and I'm gonna use that. I'm pretty sure that 13,900 is for 2 semesters. I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt. That's for 2 semesters. So they said 13,900. I'm gonna say for a year. 13,900 divided by 2. Should have just said 14,000. That's what I'm doing. 14,000. That's 7,000. So 7,000. Then I gotta go find the housing prices, because housing is not part of tuition. And everybody, please play this video before you go to the University of Arizona. And so they got dorms, it's called floor plans. Wow. They have a lot, but it's not showing prices. So I'm gonna click on their PDF. Then it says I had to request access. It's crazy. Access denied. Hit the back button. Okay. So there we go. Rates. Even better. So the average rate you're looking at for a dorm at the University of Arizona is, my goodness, they got so many of them. But you're looking at fall and spring for some reason. It's about $5,000, $4,000, depending where you're at. So we're going to say you're looking at, I'm going to use the whole number, just split that, pretty much. So on the low end, because it goes higher as you scroll down. So on the low end, you're looking at, I seen the lowest is 7,000 again. So you're looking at about 3,500. Add 3,500 to the 7,000. That's about 10,500. So 7, 35, what's it, housing. And guys, that's on the low end, once again. That's on the low end. That is on the low end. Yeah, it's on the low end. And then we got to include meal plans as well, because meal plans are not part of the tuition. So meal plans, I have to go find that. That's not under housing. So then I'm going to do Control F, meal plan. Is that it? They have different meal plans. Let's see if this takes me to it. So meal plan is on the side. Usually it's on the side. Trying to find my meal plan rate. Let's hit the back button. Oh yeah, button tab. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna hit this. Page not found. Once again, they're not showing us the rates, but they're showing us the housing rates, but it's not showing us the meal plan rates. They got summer rates. It's not showing us the meal plan. I see why parents get frustrated when they look for stuff. But I'm gonna find it. That's what I do. That's what I do. But let me type in meal plan rates. So I guess There we go. So right here, they said average swipes per month are 72. People do 72 swipes per month. They're saying the annual cost is 6,000, pretty much $7,000 for a meal plan. I don't know if that's different. Do they have another plan? I'm just gonna roll with that one. But I'm assuming annual cost divided by 2. And then that comes with $500 in dining dollars, and that comes with 8 guest meals. So we're gonna say 7,000 for meal plans, which is another 3,500. So we're gonna add that to our calculator. You would think it'd be fast to find this stuff, but it's never fast. So 10,500 plus 3,500. That's about 14 grand on the low end. So remember, the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard discounts the price usually because they assume you're going to have some type of financial aid, grants, scholarships, or whatever, right? And so you're looking at, I said once again, you're looking at 14 grand on the low end because your on-campus housing can be a lot more. And so, and your meal plan can be a lot more. These are all on the low end. And tuition, they just did that on estimate. Could be more depending on your college. So right now we have 14 grand, a little lower, but College Scorecard says 16 grand for the University of Arizona. Remember the median salary. So if we do 14 grand times 4, that's about 56,000. So you can have a salary that's either under 60,000 or over 60,000 after being 10 years removed from the college. So that's pretty good, I think. It's all right. But like I said, guys, 7,000 a semester because they said estimate 13,900 per semester. I meant per year. That's $7,000 pretty much for fall and spring. That's a lot of money per semester. 7 grand. So I'd rather not go there, especially out the gate. But as we keep going, it's not looking too good because you're going to be in debt. Yeah, I can't work my way around that still. That's why I'm doing it in my head still. And so students who return after their first year, 87% of students return after their first year at University of Arizona. That's a B on the 100% scale. It's pretty good. They return after their first year. The average debt you're looking at after going there, you're looking at about 20 grand. 28% of students receive federal loans, but 20 grand minimum debt, and you possibly could be making under, what they said, you can possibly make it under 60 grand or over 60 grand. That's not bad to pay back personally for somebody who's paying down debt now on a car. So keep that in mind. But it also depends where you get your loans from in that detail. If you got private loans, that could be a whole different game because the interest rates moves. And then right here it says, this is pretty low. This is a C average. This is not good. It says, what does it say? It says 76% of students from the University of Arizona make more than a high school graduate. 76% of University of Arizona students make more than a high school graduate. That's a C average. That's not really that good, which means your job placement can be a little shaky. It's a C average. It's almost at F. And then I do the campus. I think they said it on here. Yeah, this is a Hispanic serving institution. Now, guys, I know from research in graduate school, since it's out there, Arizona on the West Coast-ish, these statistics are off a little bit, but Native Americans are definitely out there at the University of Arizona. So this would be, it says that it's a more of a Hispanic serving institution, but you have a lot of Native Americans on that reservation out there in that area in Arizona that go to school. Just a heads up. So if you ever want to get exposure to that, it's not accurate on the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard, but that's definitely true from research when I did research. And so right here they have 86% acceptance rate here. That's pretty high. University of Arizona has an 86% acceptance rate. And then they said right here, the University of Arizona has an acceptance rate of 86%. University of Arizona considers admission test scores, SAT, ACT during application process, but once again, they do not require the SAT and ACT to come to their school. But it can always help, but they don't require it. Why? Once again, colleges need students. They need students, which means they need your money to go there. And with those prices, University of Arizona better get to some work because it's not looking too good. University of Arizona, I would give them easily a C. They should be a D. They're gonna be a D. They're gonna be a D. University of Arizona is a D. Why? Because if I was transferring to their school from a 2-year to a 4-year, I would be in student loan debt. I personally would not have a purchasing power if I was an undergrad. Again, I wouldn't make enough money to save. I couldn't save up $7,000 to pay in cash, right? I'm thinking as a person who got to pay for school in cash, because if you got Pell Grant, you still not good because your Pell Grant covers you $3,500 per semester because the max is like $7,000. So you're only gonna get they're only gonna let you use about $3,500 of that, and then they're gonna tap into something else you have, right? And so, or unless you got scholarships and something else to help, that's still too much, right? And I just couldn't. If I was transferring there, I couldn't save up. I couldn't save up to pay $7,000 per semester at this school. The school is too expensive. Now, if you stay on campus, you're definitely it's not gonna look well for you. University of Arizona housing on the low end is $3,500 per semester, and then their meal plans is $3,500 per semester as well. So if you go to the University of Arizona and you stay on campus, you're looking at student loans easily, which is why they said on the College Scorecard you're looking at an average of $20,000 to go here. So keep that in mind. If you start here, you're probably going to be. If you start here, finish here, you're looking at about $60,000 in student loan debt or more. Because if you change, you got to factor in, like, if you change your major, you got to factor in if you take time off. Tuition prices still rise up when you take time off in college. People don't think about that, but it's true. And so, yeah, school is a D. And they don't really give you a good return on investment to pay off your student loans fast. Because imagine if you pulled out student loans the whole way through, you're only gonna make about either 60,000. You want to either make under 60,000 or over 60,000. So you pulled out about 60,000. So you are literally breaking even essentially on your return on investment. And so, yeah, it gets a D. It's not very good. Wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Now, if University of Arizona wants to come back and fix the review, they say they're working on this and this and that. Might be some things I don't know. They are always welcome to reach out. But I wouldn't personally go there. I got a debt-free degree. You can't get a debt-free degree going to a school this expensive. So it's a D rating. I'm saying that because I'm going to clip this up eventually and put it in the playlist so you can watch every school be ranked or reviewed on saving you money or not saving you money. So, yes. And that is all. We had a good live stream. I appreciate everybody who came and showed support. Oh, he said, nope, now I'm gone. I didn't even see that. LOL. Okay. So we will be back tomorrow. Will it be a bit live stream? We'll see. 4th of July. We might get some news because they posted the one big beautiful bill. It might get the Trump desk today, but definitely by tomorrow. And we'll see. Might be overnight. Might be around like Eastern time. I'm on Eastern time, so it might be like 10 p.m., 12 a.m. But we're definitely on the live stream, so hopefully the news is in the morning, so we can go live in the morning or at 12. So I will see you all tomorrow, and peace.